Greetings and welcome to Let's Play by Play, a podcast of narrated playthroughs of video games. This time we're going to be playing Tex Murphy, Under a Killing Moon from 1994 by Access Software. Pieces of film scrolling by. A, C, C, E, S, S. Access appears in 3D letters. Now they're rotating off screen like the film and coming back around near some rotating lines, all in gold. We see interactive movie coming up from the bottom. Access Software Incorporated appears. The logo scrolls up to the center. Fade to black. Now we see Under a Killing Moon, rotating 3D letters. Filling the screen, fading to black. Auxiliary panel slides up. Okay, so now we see a grayscale screen. It's quite dark. There is a series of rectangles in the upper left, quite large. That is the viewport. We see look, get, move, open, talk, on, off below that, which are our verbs. Toward the right side of the screen, we see 0.0, auxiliary panel, close panel, new game, config, load, credits, save, intro, and exit to DOS. So we're going to start a new game. Now we see ready to start new game. Player name, easy is the default, which I believe doesn't have any puzzles. Let's play by play org. We have OK, delete, help, cancel. So we're going to click OK and see what happens.
So, they found it again, have they? I thought we'd taken care of it.
Okay, just pausing here for a moment. We see a starscape with a sun in the upper left, the Earth kind of in the slightly lower right near the center, and some kind of lens flare as the Earth is rotating around. We hear this narration happening.
The forces of evil are persistent, sir.
I'm getting too old for this. Who have we got lined up to deal with this problem?
Murphy, sir.
Oh, no, not Murphy.
Afraid so, sir.
What about Spade or Marlowe?
Dead, sir.
Isn't there anyone else?
Sorry, sir, he's next on the list.
Well, I suppose we'll have to make do. Knowing Murphy, he's going to need help. A lot of help.
I'll check the archives and get back to you, sir.
Now we see it cuts to Affiliated News Services Presents, and we see a kind of old-timey newsreel showing a person actually with a kind of like crank camera silhouetted on the screen. News of the world as it zooms in.
News of the day. At the Second World War,
Allies launch final assault appears in big bold letters, and we see the narrator describing the scene.
enters its final days, Allied forces are on the march. The troops of the Western Alliance are occupied with the dangerous duty of ferreting out the remaining pockets of Nazi resistance.
So we see some old-time black and white videos of what looks like World War II with paratroopers, jeeps, troops marching along.
The storming of Berlin has crushed the heart of German opposition and sent remnants of the Fuhrer's troops scurrying into the dark reaches of the Black Forest. The Germans have vowed to fight to the last man in their quest for world domination. But their days are numbered, with Adolf Hitler dead and the once dreaded SS disbanded. The Allies have exposed the workings of the Nazi war machine and found it festering with ancient blood cults, whose rituals and ceremonies are too astonishing and barbaric to detail. Allied forces will not rest until the last cult member has been revealed and captured.
Cut to black. Now we see some bright red letters filling the screen.
No pestilence has ever been so fatal or so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal, the redness and horror of blood.
Okay, now we see a ruined castle, it looks like, with some fires on either side of it. There's also a large kind of desolate grounds around it. No grass or anything. It's all very gray with dead trees. We see a fence surrounding it and an open gate. The moon's silhouetted behind. The camera's panning through the gate, heading up the path towards the entrance to what looks like the ruined castle. Fade to a view of three figures walking through the rubble, looking at the ground. One bends down, another bends to pick something up. He picks up what looks like a cyan dove. He holds the dove up, and we see the stained glass window, also a dove, and behind it the moon. The camera kind of pans through the window, and now the moon fills the screen. Fade to a darker view of the moon. Access Software Presents appears. Rotating logo under Killing Moon. Brian Keith. Margot Kidder. Russell Means. And the voice of James Earl Jones. Executive producer Bruce Carver. Directed by Chris Jones. San Francisco, 2042 AD. White bright. For a moment here we see what looks like kind of a DeLorean style car, which is like a stainless steel silver color. But this one has no wheels. It's kind of just hovering over the ground with some bright headlights in this kind of dark night. We see a figure inside. It looks like he's in some kind of trench coat.
In the moonlight, New San Francisco sparkles like a chunk of cubic zirconium, an island of hollow beauty surrounded by a red sea of radiation.
The car is lifting up into a kind of red sky. We get a closer look at our protagonist, average-looking person with a bright red tie, beige trench coat, white shirt underneath.
5 million souls drowning in gamma rays. Some lucky people have a natural immunity to genetic mutation caused by the radiation. I'm one of them.
He pans off to the right.
Most of them live in the new city.
We see him flying through a cityscape from outside the vehicle.
But I don't. I live among the unlucky souls, the mutants and the destitute, and the wreckage of old San Francisco. My name's Tex Murphy. I'm a private detective. Or at least I used to be. Since my marriage hit the rocks, I haven't done much of anything. I went out tonight for the first time in a week, but all I ended up doing was spending the last of my money on a bottle of cheap bourbon. Now it's past midnight, and I'm staring out of the window of my office on the second floor of the Ritz Hotel. Just like me, the Ritz used to be something.
With his car parked out front, as the camera pans up towards his office windows, I suppose.
Now it's just another grimy building in a rundown part of town. And I'm almost out of bourbon.
So we see him silhouetted in the window of a building. Now we see the inside view looking out as Tex himself appears to be staring out the window, no longer with his jacket and his overcoat on. And we see the reflection of an older man through the window behind him.
My God, Murphy, you look like hell. Really hit bottom, didn't you?
Murphy steps away and starts heading toward his desk to sit down.
Oh, I usually don't look this bad. I forgot to take my Geritol this morning. So, you want a drink? I saved my first one to have with you.
No, thanks. I've been dry for 8 years now. Yeah, one morning I just looked in the mirror and decided I needed to make a few lifestyle changes. Quit smoking, quit drinking. Now I'm getting out of the business. Yep, I'm gonna move to the tropics and retire in a nice secluded island with a tribe of beautiful young women.
You're getting out of the business. I guess that means the end of the world must be around the corner because you are the detective. I can't imagine you doing anything else, especially not running around an island with a bunch of nubile women in a loincloth.
No, I can imagine it. I've been thinking about it for years now. Yeah. You know how it is. Lonely. Underappreciated. Dangerous. I haven't had a decent night's sleep in 38 years. I tell you, I'm working on a case right now, and that's going to be my last one. Oh. Enough about me. How about you, Tex? How's life treating you? Bad as it looks?
Well, it depends. What day is it anyway today? Saturday? Well, Saturdays aren't too bad.
We see Tex reaching for a bottle, pouring himself a drink.
It's normally Thursday by the time I get really suicidal. So what is it you wanted? Just come by to sprinkle a little salt into the open wounds of my pathetic life?
No, Tex, you got me all wrong. Nah, just because you turned me in and got me suspended and humiliated me in front of my peers, you sold me out. But that's all gonna pass. See, I quit hating you for that weeks ago. Like I said, I'll be leaving soon, and I didn't want to go with any loose ends dangling there to bother me in my golden years.
Hey, don't worry about me. When you tossed me out of the agency, it was the best thing that ever happened. Digging through dumpsters and sleeping in abandoned speeders, you helped me learn a great lesson. Because no matter how bad things are, they can always get worse.
So what happened to you? I heard you were doing pretty well there for a while. Did a hell of a job on that Martian memorandum case. What's your problem? You one of those people who can't live with success? Huh?
Well, I can live with it. I'm just afraid of commitment. Now you tell me something. Why wouldn't you talk to me 15 years ago? I was a stupid kid back then. Could have tried to understand why I told the ethics board what I did. I mean, I understand now that I was out of line and I made a mistake, but why'd you cut me off like that?
Because apparently you never learned the first rule of a PI. And never, ever betray your friends. Now, friendship goes beyond blood and race and politics. You gotta find out who your friends are, then you hold on to them. They're a precious commodity to people like me and you. Now listen, before I go, I came here with a warning. I heard your name mentioned in connection with a case that I'm working on, and you stay out of it. If you don't, somebody's gonna find you floating in the bay with a hole in your head, and I don't need any more strain on my conscience.
Tex shakes his head.
You know, frankly, I'm pretty insulted. Because I'm a pretty damn good detective, and I can take care of myself, thank you.
Starts to smoke. Sits back down and falls backwards on the floor. Spits out the cigarette.
Just remember what I said, Tex. Got no idea what kind of people we're dealing with here. Just keep out of my way. I'll send you a postcard.
Now we see it cut to a black screen with kind of an old-timey border, multicolored, kind of a new deco style with the moon on the left side of the screen. You see the text scrolling up for under a killing moon, a shadow cast on the moon as the moon turns yellowish color. You see the words day one coming in from the right. And from the bottom we see cuffing up phlegm. It's the subtitle of this chapter. Fade to black.
So last night, after 15 years, the colonel
So now we see Tex kind of throwing some cards into his hat. I guess he's just thinking through what happened in his office.
walks into my office. Made me take a good hard look at myself. Maybe I have hit bottom, and maybe I do look like hell. Lord knows the only exercise I've had lately is tipping the bottle and flipping cards into my hat. I gotta find some work. Contrary to what the Colonel might think, I'm as good a detective as he ever was. Now I just gotta prove it. I'm gonna scare up a job today, even if it means finding somebody's lost puppy.
And now we see the menu with loading, please stand by. Okay, and we're back to the familiar menu screen, except now, instead of a blank series of rectangles in the upper left corner, we see Tex's office. His office has got hardwood floors, some kind of tacky pattern fabric chairs in front of his desk, a pretty big prominent wooden desk in the middle, his chair behind it, of course, and some furniture in either corner. Looks like some kind of shelving or a file cabinet. And then off to the right, we see the water cooler. There's also the windows that he was staring out of earlier and a few pictures on them. We also see point 0, hint text travel auxiliary panel. So it's a press spacebar to walk around. We are now in interactive mode where we can see the mouse cursor moving around. As we press spacebar, the screen fills with a view of the office. We can move the mouse left and right to kind of turn ourselves where we want to walk to. As we turn to the left, we see there's some footprint marks on the floor, almost like a dance pattern. We see School of Dance on the wall. So let's head over there and take a look at that. Pause near there. Now in this interactive mode, by pressing space, we now see the look verbs highlighted, and the cursor on the screen has changed to look like a magnifying glass. So we'll click on that frame School of Dance marker on the wall.
Great-great-grandpa Murphy made it through the Depression by teaching cha-cha lessons to rich older women. He made thousands before the authorities found out he had no formal training.
And we can see the wall's kind of a beige color, but it's got like cracks or blemishes on it. Go back to walk mode, take a look around. As we push the mouse forward, we can see we can move forward. And we see the other view of the office. It's all rendered in 3 dimensions, and many of the objects are actual 3D objects, not just sprites, which is kind of cool. So we'll pause here for a second and look down. Using the down arrow key, we can change our view slightly downward. See if we can move a little closer to the desk so we can see what's inside of it. Oh, let's just walk through the chair, that helps. Okay. So now we're right in front of the desk looking at it. And we can also click the right mouse button to stop our mouse from moving. It's quite sensitive, so I could lower the sensitivity in DOSBox or in the config settings of the game. Now we'll press spacebar to go back to interactive mode. We can see all the drawers here.
Most of these desk drawers haven't been used for so long, I'm afraid to open them.
Now as I hover over it, I have 2 verbs now. Look and open are available. If I right click, it changes to the alternate verb, which now is open. And then inside I can look.
As usual, it's a mess.
Okay, we'll close that one by using open again. Now we'll try the bottom right drawer. It's a very small object there. Let's see what that says.
One last $10 stamp waits patiently to be licked and mailed.
Well, let's take that with us. Many things we can see in this room we can look at, but we can't get. So this one we'll get. We can examine it for a closer look at how it's in our inventory. It says Earth, $10. A big building somewhere on Earth. Okay, yeah, it shows a very prominent building with a dome centerpiece. Click resume to go back. Okay, we'll take a peek at this picture on the desk.
Ah, Sylvia, my ex-wife. Whenever I think things can't get any worse, I think about her and how she totally screwed up my life. She's a woman who loves a man, any time. I'll never forget the day I came home early and caught her with the upholstery man.
Oh, there you are. I just got done with the chair. I'll be sending the bill to your husband.
So we see a different scene. I guess this is like a memory with what looks like, I guess, his wife on the left and the upholstery man on the right in front of those upholstered chairs in Tex's very office.
Oh, Rudy. Let's not think about my husband right now. I was watching you upholster and you're so big and strong.
She starts to embrace the upholstery man.
Do you really think so?
Well, yes.
And we see Tex walking in the door, looking quite disappointed as he nods his head back.
God, I've only known you for 10 minutes and I feel like I've known you forever. Oh, yes, look. And look at this muscle. Oh. The way you hold me, Tex never held me like this. Oh, kiss me, Rudy, and set my lips on fire.
Okay.
Tex again looks disappointed, throwing his head back, shrugging his arms. We see another view of his ex and the upholstery guy touching each other. Tex walks by.
Oh, Tex, honey. I wasn't expecting you home so soon.
Well, duh. Obviously. Now I know why the Roto-Rooter man keeps calling and asking whether we need our plumbing checked. Well, I gotta admit, those chairs look pretty good.
Thanks. Listen, how about I don't charge you on the labor and we call it even?
Fair enough. But from here on out, Rudy, customer servicing doesn't include my wife.
See, honey? I saved you some money again. Aren't you happy?
I married her for better or worse. Unfortunately, it never got any better.
For some reason, it's kind of reset us back to the starting place in the room behind the chairs. But let's go into movement mode. Take a look behind his desk here. Oops. Oh, this mouse is very sensitive. Okay, so here we have the filing cabinet.
This cabinet is where my old successes go to die.
Try opening it.
Nothing here but nostalgia.
Okay, I guess we don't need anything there. We'll close it up. On top, we got something.
Oh, great. Another incoming message that won't print out. If I don't get a new fax machine, I'll be out of business. CrimeLink computer is the only valuable piece of equipment left in the office. By entering suspect information like height, weight, and hair color.
All right, I don't think we have enough yet to go off of, so let's go quit. Keep looking around the office here. Take a look at those footsteps on the floor.
The office was actually a dance studio before I moved in, and Latin dancing is a Murphy family tradition.
Okay, there's a credenza next to the door. Let's take a peek in there. Whoops. Okay, moving too fast. All right, let's open this.
My phonograph's an old family heirloom. I love to play the classics. Kool and the Gang, Peaches and Herb.
Oh, excuse me, that was a phonograph. All right. Well, let's see if we can find that credenza.
That hutch holds a life's worth of knickknacks, paddywhacks, and the world's largest piece of elbow macaroni.
Let's try this side door. Oh, that's a closet.
All I've ever needed was a soft felt fedora, a well-tailored overcoat, and a comfy pair of sneakers. Some people know what they like, and they stay with it.
Oh, here's the credenza. I'm sorry. It's like a low table, basically. And we see there's like a pistol, I guess, sitting there. So let's take a look.
My gun. I love it so much!
Okay, and we'll try getting that.
Old trusty sidearm. Been with me since the beginning. You want some of this, huh? Bam, bam! Hey, bam, bam, bam!
So we see he's got his trench coat, his hat. He picked up the gun, and now he's pretending, playing, shooting with it.
Bam! Bam, bam! Bam! And you!
Whoop, he just threw it out the window as he turned around too quickly. He moves over to the window, looking outside.
Hey, Sonny, can you help me out? My girlfriend threw my gun out of the window. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just pick it up and, hey, don't point that thing up here. That's not a toy, you know.
Oh, shot the hat off him.
Oh, my hell. No matter how bad things got, I always had my gun. Now I've lost that, too. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those days.
Okay, so we're kind of reset back to the center of the room. Oh, we got some mail next to the door. Okay. So we're going to look at the ground, aiming down, see what we got. 2 pieces of mail. Let's examine those in our inventory. Gift certificate entitles the holder to 1 free cosmetic job, nose, boob, etc., courtesy of the Real You Surgery Clinic. 30 minutes to a better you. Okay. Back to our inventory. It looks like the next one is a sales flyer. Grand reopening sale tomorrow 9 a.m. The electronics shop will open its newly remodeled store and offer a veritable bonanza of bargains. Dongles, fax machines, remote controlled toys, stereos, vid phones, doohickeys, thingers, whatchamacallits, and much, much more. Be sure to check out the unbelievable prices. Okay. See, we also have a credit card application in our inventory. Let's take a peek at that. Examine.
A pre-approved electronic shop credit card application addressed to the previous occupant. Just needs to be signed, stamped, and mailed.
So it sounds like we need a pen so we can sign that. Let's see if we can find a pen on the desk. All right, looking down at the desk here. All right, now we'll try the lower left drawer. There it is. Now let's try combine pen with credit card application. Within the viewport, we see all the inventory items. And once we click the combine, the pen appears over the application. Then it shrinks to nothing, as if it were falling into it, I suppose. Immediately afterward, the application also shrinks into nothing. Finally, we see the combined object appears and grows to fill that slot. All right, looks like that's filled out. Cool. And the pen is gone, so I guess we're done with it. And now we'll combine the stamp with the filled out application. We can see ready to mail application. We'll click resume to get back to the action menu. Now let's head outside. Door says Tex Murphy PI, but it looks like it's reversed because we're on the inside. So we'll open the door. See a small glimpse outside. Let's head back to movement mode and slide outside. Tex is now outside on the metal balcony just outside his office. He's wearing his trench coat and fedora, holding a pack of smokes, and preparing to smoke one.
The air outside feels thick, like I'm breathing through a pair of dirty gym socks. It's a high radiation day. Most everyone will be staying inside, but I need to hunt for some work. I always like to start the day with the traditional PI breakfast. That hits the spot.
Okay, now we can see the view outside of the red kind of hellish radiation scape at night. Also, buildings surrounding us on the street. We're kind of up on a catwalk or a set of stairs that almost looks like a fire escape below us here. So we're gonna head down these stairs, back around. Now we're on the ground floor. We see our car out front and newsstand across the street, so let's head over there. There's a woman manning the stand in a red hat, beige vest, white shirt. We're gonna talk to her.
Chelsea Bando's the kind that could hold her own with anyone, but she has a way of turning my knees to jelly. She's a mutant just like everyone else in this part of town, but she's a real beauty.
Our perspective switches to a higher view, as if looking down from a lamppost. We see Chelsea standing to read text.
Well, hello, stranger.
Okay, now we see some conversation options. Subtle innuendo, lovesick puppy, and charmingly curious. Try subtle innuendo.
Hey, sweetheart. Know anyone who could use my services today?
Well, I guess that depends on which services we're talking about, big guy.
We have blatant innuendo, sleazebag offer, and play stupid. I guess we'll go with blatant.
So why don't you join me for a drink and I'll go over all the great services I have to offer.
Gee, Tex, you know, that kind of talk could get you into trouble. But I don't drink with customers.
We have stud response, blue collar offer, or pricked by Cupid Zero. I guess we'll go with pricked by Cupid Zero.
Ah, it's painful the way you toy with my emotions, Chelsea.
Oh, please, Tex.
She crosses her arms, shakes her head.
So, is there something I can do for you?
Now we have ask about and end conversation. So we'll click ask about A. Now we have the list of options, I guess, that we can ask about. We'll start at the top with Rook Gardner.
Rook acts like a tough guy, but he's a softie. Just don't tell him that to his face.
Then we have Chelsea Bando.
Oh, you know me, Tex. I'm just making ends meet.
Louis Limits.
I love Louis, but his friendliness doesn't fool me. He's a sharp one. He knows everything that's going on in this neighborhood.
Francesca Lucidio.
Franny's a live wire. Either she or Sal is going to do time for killing the other one. I have never seen a couple fight like they do.
Sal Lucidio.
Sal's a handful. He's a nice guy, but I don't know, I feel kind of naked when he gives me the eye.
Ardo Newpop.
Luckily, Ardo seems to like me. I mean, if I were on his bad side, I'd be tempted to relocate. He could crush a Subaru with one hand.
We see Colonel.
Wish I could help you there, Tex.
All right, looks like we've exhausted everything. We'll click end conversation. Okay, now we're going to try and mail that letter. Oh, here's a mailbox. Familiar 20th century blue mailbox with an eagle on it. Interactive mode. Go to our inventory. Ready to mail application. Use. We'll hover over the mailbox.
The Postal Service has gotten much faster since the stamp price went to $10. I should get my credit card back tomorrow morning.
Let's look around out here. Some stuff on the ground. It looks like litter. Let's take a peek and see if we can find anything interesting on the ground here.
All hell has broken loose since the government stopped requiring products to display those give a hoot don't pollute symbols. Ah, the once majestic Chandler Avenue. There's enough radiation in this asphalt to fry an egg on Christmas morning.
All right, we'll get this newspaper. Have in our inventory, we'll examine it. Okay, there's several articles. We'll start at the upper left. Burglars baffle police. Total of the inner city pawn shop burglaries committed over the past 3 weeks now stands at 9. Zippy Cash, located at the corner of Jackson and Maple Streets, was broken into 3 nights ago. Pawn shop owner Urban Ruby did not report the crime until this morning, thinking it was simply a practical joke played by his friends. Tragically, this was not the case. What else do we have here? Body found in Bay. The body of Temel Murray, 29, was discovered floating in San Francisco Bay yesterday early morning. Spotted passengers on a whale sighting shuttle. The body was recovered by police, then sent to the city coroner's office for autopsy. Cause of death has been listed as a suicide. The bystanders report the corpse was remarkably disfigured and contorted. Walter Grimm, the personal injury lawyer, followed the ambulance to the coroner's and reported a quarantine was initiated not long afterwards. The reason for the quarantine has not been made public. Okay, we'll exit this for now. Alright, there's the door. It says Rook's Pawn. Open. to walk mode so we can slide ourselves into that door.
Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. He's a crusty old World War III vet with a face like a raisin and a tongue like a butcher's cleaver.
Okay, so now we see the inside view with Tux standing at the counter. A man seems to be organizing something behind the counter. There are guitars on top of the shelves behind him, animatronic animals, a motorcycle, a toy drummer boy, just some random stuff. A sign that says Fast Cash. He turns around.
What do you want, Murphy?
Caustic wit, obliviously conversational, and cautiously inquisitive. Go with obliviously conversational.
Fine. How you doing, Rook?
I'm not in the mood for small talk.
Sarcastically serious, plain old serious, and serious. We'll go sarcastically serious.
Well, then by all means, let's discuss a serious topic.
Breaking, entering, and robbery serious enough for you, Murphy?
Both men walk toward a broken part of the display case.
Last night someone broke into my pawn shop. I don't usually have anything of great value, but yes.
So he's kind of pointing to something in the counter below the glass.
Today, I gave out a fair amount of cash for an extremely valuable diamond bracelet.
I suppose that was probably the thing that was holding the bracelet. So now we have detective, humor, investigative, blow off. Go with investigative.
How much is a fair amount of cash?
In this case, $8,000.
So now we have the option surprised, verbal, sucker punch, and inquisitive. So we'll go with surprised.
Boy, that's a lot of clams, Rook.
Don't you think I know that?
The bracelet was pawned by a young girl named Emma Nimpton. She said she hated to hawk a family heirloom, but had no choice. She said she would reclaim the bracelet in a month. Well, since the bracelet was worth 10 times the $8,000 I loaned her, it was a good deal for me.
Okay, investigative facts, investigative vibes, keen observation. We'll go with investigative facts.
Did you get any other information from this Emma Nimpton?
She left a phone number. I called her this morning, but the line is disconnected.
Casually inquisitive, casually investigative, looking for work. We'll go with casually investigative.
So do you have any leads on recovering the bracelet?
No, the police are a waste of time, and I can't afford to hire a decent PI.
Okay, we see deeply offended, slightly offended, and offended but looking for work. We'll go with offended but looking for work.
I guess this means you don't consider me good enough to help track down the bracelet?
I'd appreciate your help. I'm not a rich man, but if you find the bracelet, I'll owe you a few favors, which could come in handy. Come back here and I'll show you where they broke in.
Rook takes me out back and shows me where the burglar broke in. The back window is busted out and the latch is ripped. It's a sloppy job. As I start my investigation, I'm looking for information to enter into my CrimeLink computer back at the office. One thing's for sure, Emma Nimpton won't be one of the suspects' names. Every PI worth his salt knows that's not my name spelled backwards.
Okay, back to interactive mode. So now we see the door from, I guess, the back alley of the pawn shop. Trash can on the left, window on the right. Looking around here, it's quite dark. There's a downspout gutter, trash in the corner, basketball hoop, chain link fence.
It's one of those basketballs they used to give away at Weenie World.
We'll pick it up. We see Tex dribbling in front of the basketball court.
10 seconds left. Down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's foul.
He hit the wall and slid backwards and dropped the ball. Okay, so now there's like another fire escape stairwell, similar to the one that we came, but it's not on the ground. So let's see. There's an opening in the chain link fence. We'll walk through that. We see a dumpster off to the right. Try pulling that stairwell down here. So we have look and move. So try move. Okay, it's lowered. Quite squeaky. Alright, so now we'll try moving up the stairwell. The door at the top here. Oops, hard to see.
Hey, this door's just painted on.
Okay, I guess it's a fake door. Alright, so we'll head back downstairs. Examine this dumpster.
Oh, man. This dumpster smells like 20-year-old mayonnaise, and I ought to know.
There's also a radio off to the side.
Whoa. This antique boombox worked. I bet it'd only play the Bee Gees.
Alright, so we'll get it. Alright, let's try opening this dumpster.
Well, I'll be darned. Except for the filth and stench, the interior isn't much different than the average studio apartment. In fact, it's nicely furnished. Someone's been living here, and I wonder if he saw anything.
Okay, let's take a look at that radio we picked up. See a 3D rotating view?
This old relic probably hasn't worked in years. Hey, there are batteries in here. I wonder if these still work. Tingly tongue. Still got juice.
Okay, we'll resume. Back to interactive mode. Okay, so here's the fence that we saw earlier. Okay, move the fence. That'll let us walk through. Yep, it let us walk through to the main street. We're gonna head to that pizza bar. Open that door. Walk our way in here. Inside, there's a pizza parlor with a menu on the wall, double kitchen doors, a long, curved, and deep red counter. The woman behind it has glasses, big brown hair, white apron, and looks to be about 50 years old.
Well, it's that a handsome P.I. Tex Murphy. Have you come to take me away?
Okay, we have cowboy humor, undecided, no thanks. Undecided.
I would if you weren't so married. Actually, I might anyway if you help me out.
Oh, how exciting! And what may I do for you?
Okay, now we can ask about Rook Garner.
Rook is a tough old geezer. I've known him ever since we opened the Slice of Heaven back in 32, but I can't say I know him very well.
Okay, Chelsea.
Chelsea is a nice girl. Sal tries to flirt with her, but she doesn't give him the time of day.
Louis.
I like Louis. He runs a nice place, and I go over there and chat with him when the business is slow.
Francesca.
Well, I was hoping you'd get around to asking about me. I'm just a lonely, hot-blooded woman who needs the love of a good, strong man.
Sal.
Me and Sal got married too young, and it's been up and down ever since. I've had enough of his drinking and the womanizing, and I divorce him in a second, but he's got a couple of buddies who are top lawyers. If I had some hard evidence of his screwing around, I could divorce him and get a decent settlement.
Ardo.
Ardo is an overgrown kid. He comes in here for the all-you-can-eat buffet, and I've got to kick him out every time. If I didn't, he'd eat everything we got.
Colonel.
Can't help you, Tex.
Burglary.
I heard that Rook's place got robbed. It scares me to death. There's so much crime in this part of the city.
McMalden.
Sorry, I don't know anything about that.
Bracelets.
Sorry. Ask me about something else.
Okay, I think we're done here.
Ah, the once majestic Chandler.
Okay, now we will head over to the Brew and Stew. It says Fountain Lunch. Brew and Stew in green logo type, wrapping around a red outline of a coffee cup. We'll open the double doors out front at the corner. And we'll head inside.
The Brew and Stew is run by Louis Lamintz, a bloated mutant with a heart bigger than his waistline.
Okay, so now we see Tex sit down at some diner stools in front of a countertop with, I guess, Louis. Got kind of a tank top with an apron and a white hat on top.
Everyone comes to Louis' cafe. So does all the street talk. If something's going on, Louis knows about it.
What can I do for you, Mike?
Okay, so now we see a close-up. We have small talk, job hunting, ear to the ground.
Well, Louis, you're the grapevine around here. Anything interesting going on?
Well, I've been hearing a lot about this crusade for genetic purity movement.
Just a heads up that Louis' face looks a little bit distorted, like a mutant almost. He's kind of got teeth sticking out, scarring on his forehead.
It's got a lot of tension stirred up between mutants and norms. Mutants have been protesting downtown, and there's been some violence.
Okay, and we can ask some more.
Rook's an ornery old cuss, but me and him are old buddies. We fought in the big war together. He's one person you can trust in these troubled times.
He nods very assuredly. Next we see Chelsea.
Chelsea acts tough, but she has to be with all the scum around. And she's as smart as she is pretty. She knows a lot of what goes on in the shadows of this city.
All right, Louis.
Yeah, things are a little slow, but I'm getting by. Having to lay off some of my kitchen help hurt my pride more than anything.
Francesca.
Granny's a fireball. She and Sal opened the pizza place 7 to 8 years ago, and they've been fighting ever since.
Sal.
Sal's a big guy with an appetite for food, wine, and women. He comes by here most every day for lunch.
Ardo.
Ardo comes in now and again. Usually orders a couple of steaks and a chocolate milk. His temper's as short as he is tall. And he's only got one oar in the water. A bad combination.
Colonel.
Sorry, Murph. Can't help you there.
Burglary.
Rook's been robbed before, but he's never had anything really valuable taken. This is gonna set Rook back for a while. Too bad the cops have turned a blind eye.
Mac Malden.
He's one of the few norms besides you who's eaten here. Seems like a typical cop. A little dim, and not too concerned about what happens in the mutant sections of town.
Bracelet.
Rook told me about the bracelet, but I don't know anything more about it.
Okay, looks like we're done here. End conversation. We're back out on the street. Let's head to the hotel. Golden Gate Hotel. Open the door. Head inside.
Ardo Newpop is a gigantic goon who works at the front desk at the Golden Gate Motel. Ardo's no rocket scientist. In fact, he probably doesn't even know what a rocket scientist is.
Okay, so we see text in front of the countertop. We also see a computer screen. It looks like maybe a security screen. Okay, now we have some options. Brisk approach, boob tube hobnobbing, standard detective introduction. I guess we'll go with standard detective introduction.
My name's Tex, and I'm a PI. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay. I think I already seen this show before anyway.
We see rude personal opinion, show some interest. Disagreeable response, will show some interest.
Captain Wallaby, your favorite show?
It's my third favorite show. My favorite is the Inspector Burns Fire Safety Show.
And now we see behind the countertop a rather tall individual, Caucasian with light brown hair, some glasses, in an overcoat. We see disagreeable response, name-dropping flib, make conversation. We'll try and make conversation.
Why is that your favorite show?
Because fire safety is very important, and I want to grow up to be just like Inspector Burns.
Lie shamelessly, sarcastic change of subject, patronizing manipulation. None of that's very nice. I guess we'll go with lie shamelessly.
Look, Ardo, if you'll answer some of my questions, I might bring Inspector Burns in to meet you. Would you like that?
Okay. I can answer some questions, but first I have to put on my fire hat because Inspector Burns' Fire Safety Show is going to be on pretty soon.
Okay, now we can ask about other things. So A, ask about Rook.
I went to his pawn shop because I thought he would have Inspector Burns action figures, but he didn't, and I got mad at him, so he probably don't like me.
Chelsea.
Ooh, Chelsea is pretty cool, because she's got good magazines and stuff. That's where I bought my Inspector Burns Fire Safety Manual.
Louis.
He's a nice guy, and I like to eat there because there's a TV.
Francesca.
She's the lady who makes the best pizza. I eat at her pizza place all the time because I love it.
Sal Lucio.
I don't know what that is.
Ardo.
I just want to be like my hero, Inspector Burns, because fire safety is very important.
Colonel.
I never heard nothing about that.
Burglary.
I don't know what that is.
Mac Malden.
I never heard nothing about that.
Bracelet.
I don't know what that is.
Alright, guess we're done here. So end conversation. Okay, let's try Rusty's Funhouse, which is across the street from Tex's office. It says Rusty's Fun Masks, Rusty's entrance, with some clown images on either window.
It's all locked up. The only way I'm gonna get inside is by using my innate cleverness or ingenuity, or maybe a key.
When we highlight Welcome Mat, looks like we can move it, so let's try moving it. Let's get a little closer look, because there's something there, but it's really hard to see. Looks like a key, so let's pick it up. Got it. Yeah, as we examine it, it's got like a kind of a silly clown on the end. It says Rusty's Funhouse. Back to walk mode. Alright, so use key, the door. Now let's try open. Alright, now we're in. Well, that was a little bit creepy, but what we see now is gags, jokes, balloons, and games. There's some shelves in front of us with what looks like some masks. A skull mask, African-American, some kind of like tiger, I guess. Crazy, like punk rocker chick. Some other ladies' masks on the side, some weapons. Rusty's Fun Masks. All right, let's try moving here. Looks like there's a crossbow here on the shelf. Can we take it? We can. Examine it. Yep, it's a yellow crossbow. Oh, it says suction dart crossbow. Okay. Can we take these other weapons? Does not appear that we can.
These weapons are all made of plastic. All bark and no bite. They're completely useless.
Okay, we do see a ring here at the bottom. Grab that ring toss ring.
I had a set of stacking rings just like this one when I was a little PI. Even has a small hole in it, just like the rings I had. Man, fill one of these with water and you can chuck it a mile.
Looks like we're able to grab an Inspector Burns mask as well. It's pretty creepy. Looks like a very scarred, hairless head. Okay, we see employees only. The front door we came in. Some boxes in the corner. Balloon magic painting on the wall. Something about it looks strange. Let's try and examine that.
Ooh, a small nozzle. Probably a helium dispenser used for filling balloons.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. All right, and there's a hole in the wall. Let's see. Oh, it's an on-off?
Hi, kids. It's me, Inspector Burns. And as we all know, fire can be our friend, but fire can be our foe.
So this is some kind of screen that was on the wall. We see what I guess is Inspector Burns, which is a person just wearing that scarred mask, also wearing a firefighter helmet and some kind of blue firefighter jacket and white collared shirt.
So many times, fire starts so carelessly. And what can fires do? Fires burn you. Never, never light matches. No, no, no. Fire is dangerous. Fire made me look like this. Do you want to look like me? No, no, no. Don't look like Inspector Burns. Don't play with matches.
Inspector Burns. I always thought he was a freak, but the kids love him. So does Ardo.
All right, let's see if there's anything behind these shelves. Maybe we can grab a mask. Let's see.
Looks like my 4th grade teacher.
A mask with very dried up looking skin next to the skull mask.
Well, this must be Mr. Grimm. He's a reaper.
It's the skull mask.
Oh, this is a scary mask.
I don't understand if that's supposed to be a joke. It's just like an African-American face. Doesn't seem that peculiar to me. All right, and then we have like kind of a mutant mask.
Why, it's Mr. Sloppy Lasagna Eater.
I suppose it does resemble lasagna at least a little bit. Let's see what's next to that.
I'll bet this is a real popular mask.
It's a woman's face, but with no jaw.
Wow, the limited edition Daryl Hannah wig and mannequin set.
And that's the woman who looks a bit like a punk rocker. Let's see what else we can see if we go to the employees only door.
Locked.
Can we use the key? We lost the key when we came in. Well, let's see. What's under these boxes here? Oh, we have a doll. All right. Oh, we got the doll. Let's see. Something in the corner here. Looks like a key hanging on the wall. Let's grab that. Key to Rusty's back room. Okay. Well, that wasn't too hard. Use key with door. Open. Bingo. Okay, let's move through. We see in this back room it says enlargements. I guess that's making prints maybe. It shows some kind of machine for photographing, I suppose. There's a slop sink in one corner and a large barrel that says warning toxic acid caution. darkroom stuff. Poster on the wall. Developing. Let's see what we can see inside the sink. Okay, there's a balloon here, so let's grab that. Simple balloon. All right. Guess we can fill it up using that thing we saw on the wall before. Oh, there's a dart here. Grab that dart. Suction dart. Yellow suction dart with a black tip. So we can take a look inside this barrel here. Oh, we see a video of Tex. Some green sludge inside. Skull lifts to the top and then sinks back down.
Oh, lordy. Well, this is where Rusty ended up. What a way to go. I'm willing to bet he didn't crawl in here on his own. Someone murdered him.
Oh, more clues. And another murder. I guess we can fill the balloon while we're here. So let's use balloon on that small nozzle inside the clown's creepy mouth. Now we have a helium-filled balloon, okay. Well, I think we found everything we can find here, so let's head out. That's a creepy doorbell. Okay, back to the street, and there's our car, so let's head out. Open the car. Now we see a map of the city. It's quite red. The ocean is black mass with blue grid lines. In the upper right, we see Coit Tower, Tex's office, Chandler Avenue, and a cluster. And then I would say around the middle, toward the right, on the, let's call it eastern side, the police station, and cancel. So police station sounds like our next stop. When we highlight it, we see a kind of preview in the upper right corner showing what looks like, I guess, the police chief or captain, and Tex in his raincoat and fedora hat. We have go to after we've highlighted it, and police station. So let's go to. See an animation. Tex's car taking off, flying through the cityscape.
I haven't seen Mac Malden since the Martian Memorandum case. I remember him as a surly, incompetent, fat-nosed cop. As I step into his office, I can see he's changed. His nose is even bigger.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy. I figured you'd be dead by now.
So we can see that he's got a light blue sport coat, a dark blue tie, and a fedora of his own. His office is actually pretty bright yellow on the walls with a nice view of the cityscape behind him. Pretty messy desk in front of him. So we've got Batcat, faux compliment, and friendly rejoinder. Let's try friendly rejoinder.
No, not yet. Actually, I'm working on a case.
Sure you are. Probably a case of cheap scotch.
I've got Mr. Pathetic, make a fermented deal, hit where it hurts. Let's try make a fermented deal.
Not me. I hear drinking too much is your department.
Hey, I got plenty to drink about. The mayor's office is all over me again. You heard about the string of pawn shop robberies? We have no suspects, and I'm catching the heat for it.
Now we've got pride, which goes before the fall, in parentheses, suck up, and shocked by ineptitude. I guess we'll try suck up.
Sounds like we might be looking for the same burglar. Let's compare notes, old buddy.
No chance, Murphy. I don't need you getting in my way. Go play detective somewhere else.
Well, we're not doing very well this time. All right, let's try it again.
Can't you find something?
Annoying humor.
No, because I...
Still the wise guy, eh, Murphy?
Listen, I'm working on a burglary case, and I'm looking for a lead.
You and me both, Seamus. The mayor's office is all over me again. You heard about the string of pawn shop robberies? We have no suspects, and I'm catching the heat for it.
Hey, let's see. We've tried suck up. We've tried pride. Let's try shocked by ineptitude.
So you and your crack team of detectives have no leads?
Of course we have leads, you pots. We know he's a norm, Caucasian, and has AB negative blood. That narrows down our list of suspects to about 1 million. Now get out of my hair. I got work to do.
All right, well, I think we're done here. We got some more clues. We'll head behind the pawn shop. We see Tex's ship taking off again in that preview corner there. Okay, we see somebody in the dumpsters. Let's talk to them.
Yeah, what do you want?
Alright, he seems to be homeless, I guess. He's wearing a tank top. Seems to be quite dirty. Looks a bit like a mutant, but it's hard to tell from this distance. And he's balding a little bit. Just hanging out in the dumpster, asking what we want. So all business, tongue-in-cheek, bum camaraderie. We'll try bum camaraderie, see.
Looks like you're busy drowning your troubles, my good man.
Well, Mr. High and Mighty, what are you, a preacher or something?
Revivalist humor, more bum camaraderie. Friendly change of subject. Let's try friendly change of subject.
Good guess. Actually, I'm a gumshoe and I'm looking for some information.
That's what I figured. You've got a fedora, a trench coat, and you look broke.
Okay, now we have pathetic, blubbering, kiss-up, snobby retort. What's my snobby retort?
Oh, it hurts so bad to be insulted by a bum like you.
If you don't like it, then leave.
Alright, I guess that didn't work. We'll try again.
Oh no, not you again.
We have condescending wit, kind of concerned and helpful, make an offer.
You know, I just might have something that would improve your ugly mood.
Is that so? Well, what?
Now we have the offer from inventory or end conversation. Let's try offer from inventory. Try the rusty clown doll. Oh, we can't. Oh, I haven't chosen offer.
Well, that's not gonna cut it, punk.
Okay, so I guess he didn't want that. All right, we'll end conversation and try if we can get some more clues.
This isn't a good time for a social call, punk.
Try moderate compassion.
Well, I think the Chocoholics Anonymous could do wonders for you.
How do you get lost before I eat that chocolate-colored hat of yours?
Okay, so I guess chocolate's his vice. So let's see, maybe we get some at the cafe. Through the hole in the fence. Alright, so the cafe was the other end. Whoops. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's hard to get in the door now. Alright, swinging around into the cafe.
What can I get you?
You ask about a chocolate.
You want to try a slice of my chocolate pie? I can get you a piece to go if you like.
Cool. Now we got in our inventory. We're going to say end conversation. So now back to the alley. Here's our friend hiding in the dumpster. Talk.
This isn't a good time for a social call, punk. If I don't get her fixed soon, I'll go insane. Story me for a lot to do.
Let's see. Make an offer.
I don't make a practice of helping out addicts, but I think I've got something that will ease the pain.
Oh, hold out on me, man. If you've got something, let's have it.
Offer. Chocolate pie.
Praise heaven! You've brought the ambrosia of life. Ask me anything you want.
Ask about Rook.
Rook, he leaves me alone. Can't ask for more than that. I think Chelsea used to fancy me, till she found out my only true love was chocolate. Damn near broke her heart.
Okay. Louis?
Nice guy. Good cook. Every National Feed a Bum Day, he brings me one of his award-winning chocolate pies. Ugh.
Francesca?
I don't have much to do with her. They don't serve anything with chocolate in it at the pizza joint.
Sal?
The only time I ever see Sal is when he gets drunk and comes by to pick a fight. Then I kick his butt and send him on his way. That big goon,
Ardo.
He used to hassle me until I shared a quart of chocolate syrup with him. Now he lets me alone.
Colonel?
Wish I could help.
Burglary.
I saw someone prowling around the back of the pawn shop last night. It was so dark, I didn't get a good look at him, but I could tell he was huge. Probably 6'3" or 6'4", about 300 pounds.
McMadden?
Nope, don't know a thing about it.
Bracelet.
Sorry, can't help you with that.
Alright, I think we're done here, so end conversation. Alright, now let's try our crime computer with all these clues. Back to the top of the Ritz Hotel, where our office is. Okay, Tex Murphy PI. Let's open that door. All right, back in our office. I'm gonna swing behind the desk to the crime computer. Crime Link 99A. Crime Link, we make it stick. Okay, let's try adding up all these clues. Male. Was he 6'3" or 6'4"? 300 pounds. Not a mutant. Race Caucasian. Try the next screen here. Okay, we want more options. Hair color, eyes, eye color, blood type, shoe size. Let's see, red. 2 eyes. Green. Blood type AB negative. Shoe size 14. Okay, and then on the next screen we have dist marks, tattoos, scars, and limbs. Let's see. Anchor tattoo. Oh, possible matches 1. View suspect file. Yes. Compiling suspect identification file. Flem, Mick, SIL file, page 1 of 3. Name, Flem, Mick, male, sex male. Yeah, all the clues we just entered. Date of birth, November 5, 03. Guessing that's 2003. POB, San Francisco, California. Distinct marks, anchor tattoo on right arm. Aliases, NA. Criminal record, date. So in July 19, a burglary. Juvenile court, suspended sentence. October 31, 22, mail fraud, $5,000 fine, suspended sentence. April 15, 23, attempted extortion, 3 months county jail. August 19, petty theft, 6 months. September 23rd, 27, burglary, 1 year state pen. December 1st, 28, arson. Attempted fraud, 4 year state pen. May 4th, grand speeder theft. Grand theft speeder, 5 years state pen. And then October 13, 38, importing illegal novelty items. Next page. Note, the whereabouts of Mick Flem are unknown at this time. The SFPD are interested in questioning him about the recent disappeared and suspected murder of Rusty Clown. It is likely that Flem and Rusty were working together when Flem was arrested for illegally importing Asian novelty items. Flem may have murdered Rusty to get revenge for letting him take the fall. This theory has been supported by a street informant, Beck Naris, who claims to have seen Flem within the past few weeks. Naris reports seeing Flem in an extremely intoxicated state, apparently hallucinating, saying that Rusty Clown Ghost was out to get him. Now we see some mug shots from the side and the front. He's got some really thick glasses, long red hair, thick red mustache, in a tank top shirt. Obviously Caucasian, heavy set, and then they just repeat the stats. So we'll say quit. All right, let's head back down to the alley. Okay, here we are at the stairwell. Back to the alley and the newsstand. We'll talk to Chelsea again.
Hi, Tex. How's the investigation going? Is there anything I can do to help?
Let's ask about Beak Naris.
Oh, yeah, I know Beak. If you want to talk to him, you might try hanging out around Coit Tower.
So at the bottom of the list, we have more. Okay, so now that we've clicked the down arrow button, we see Rusty Clown at the bottom of the list. Let's try that.
Oh, I remember Rusty. He had a kid's show on TV when I was young. I hated the show. That clown makeup always scared me.
We've got everything here, so let's end the conversation. All right, let's move over to Coit Tower then, which should be at the end. Street to the left, that hole between the fence.
I walk up the steps to Coit Tower and spot a small figure lurking in the shadows. In the half-light, I can see only the person's profile, but it's definitely Beak. As I walk towards him, he glances around, then approaches me warily, like a vegetarian sizing up a pot pie.
Okay, we see him walking towards Tex.
What are you staring at?
So he seems like a shorter man, also in kind of a suit, but with a really long, dangling elephant nose. We see down to business, established identity, and admiration for Beak's prominent feature. All right, we'll try established identity.
You must be Beak Naris.
Huh? Yeah, that's me. But I ain't smelled you before. Who are you?
Now we have refer to Chelsea, down to business, coy deal maker.
I'm a friend of Chelsea Bando. You told me I could probably find you nosing around up here.
Yeah, Chelsea. Good egg. Nice looker. So, what do you want?
Investigate, curious about the nose, deal for info. Try investigative.
She said you might give me a lead on who robbed Rook's pawn shop.
Maybe yeah, maybe no. What you gonna give me for the info?
Okay, so now we have offer from inventory or end conversation. Let's try offer. Select an item. Maybe surgery gift certificate, and then offer.
Okay, I can use this. My nose has started sagging lately. Makes it hard to breathe. Now, what kind of info you looking for, huh?
As he said, his trunk kind of raised up like an elephant. Let's ask about everything. Try Rook at first.
I haven't got any info on that.
Chelsea?
Chelsea! Smart girl and a real looker to boot. She's got a cute little nose.
Then Louis?
I can't help you there.
Francesca?
She runs that pizza place with her husband, Sal. I don't know much about her. A true Italian nose, though.
Sal?
He lets his wife run the pizza joint. I don't know what he does. Though I've heard some things about who he does. You can tell he drinks a lot by that snaz of his.
Ardo?
I haven't got any info on that.
Colonel?
I know a little about him. Runs a pretty successful PI business.
Burglary?
Rook's pawn shop was robbed by a two-bit crook named Mick Flem. He and his girlfriend have knocked off half a dozen pawn shops over the past month. The girl goes to a pawn shop and hawks a bracelet for a decent amount of cash. Then Flem breaks into the pawn shop and steals the bracelet, along with anything else he finds.
Okay, we'll try Mac.
Anyone with a hunker like that can't be all bad. Malden's no rocket scientist, but I hear that he's not on the take. I've helped him out a couple of times, so he leaves me alone.
Bracelet.
The bracelet is the bait Mick Flem uses for the pawn shop robberies.
Ask about Mick.
Mick Flem's rap sheet would take a day to read. He's a fat scum, and he's an idiot to boot. That's why he's always getting caught. He's been busted for burglary, mail fraud, arson, you name it. Everyone knows he operates out of the Snow White warehouse, but don't tell him.
Beak?
Oh, I'm nobody. I just try to keep my nose clean and my ear to the ground. Oh, wait a minute. Or was that vice versa?
Rusty Clown?
I think he's dead, and I'll bet Mick Flem had something to do with it. Word was the two of them were smuggling illegal novelty items from Hong Kong, and Rusty crossed Flem. Ever since Rusty disappeared, Flem has had a terrible fear of clowns. Bozophobia. I once saw Flem pretty drunk, and he said he had nightmares of Rusty's ghost coming back to haunt him from the grave. He was completely terrified.
All right, we'll end the conversation. There is something I forgot, so let's head to the alley again. Quite a few bins in the alley, so we're gonna try check them all out. Trash bins.
Wow, a recyclable paper can. Finally, a glimmer of ecological responsibility. I didn't know Rook cared.
Try opening that one. Yeah, nothing else I can see here. All right, we'll just keep looking around. Okay, there's one can knocked over. Let's move that one. Looks like there's something under it. Let's get closer. Key. Let's grab that. That's what we need. Key from alley. Looks like a pretty regular key to me. All right. Out of the alley. Now onto the warehouse. Okay, let's head inside.
If this is Mick Flem's hangout, he'll probably be back soon. I better try and set some sort of trap for him.
Inside, we have a brick building. Got some pallets on the floor, a bottle on the table in the middle. There's also some plywood, some crates. Let's see what we can move or look at here.
That old piece of plywood doesn't seem to be doing much of anything.
Okay, we can open the crate below the plywood. Gotta go to the other side, okay. It's a door marked number 9 on the far side of the warehouse here. All right, inside looks like some kind of uniform. Yep, firefighter's uniform. We got a rusty clown doll, some batteries in it, since he's afraid of clowns. Resume. Okay, there's some stairs here. Let's head upstairs. Key hanging here, so let's grab that. Key from warehouse. And there's a hook hanging here. Maybe we can use the doll on the hook.
The rusty doll looks great on the pulley hook, but I'll need to get it to move before it'll do me any good.
Okay, so now we have this animated doll. Looks quite large, actually, almost the size of a person. With a polka dot shirt and bright red shoes, bright red hair, and obviously the clown face. Okay, let's see. How am I going to get to move? Oh, the power box down there. Okay, so let's go down the stairs. Oh, it's hard to move with this mouse. Okay, let's open the power box.
Locked.
Maybe the key will help us. Let's see. Key from warehouse. Use.
The heavy footsteps I hear must be Flem. Luckily, my rusty trap's all set. I'll need to find a hiding place as close as possible to the pulley control box. When Flem least expects it, I'll throw the pulley lever and bring Rusty back from the dead.
Oh, we can't activate it yet.
Hopefully this isn't a self-destruct lever.
We see the door open from the outside. We see Flem coming in. Gray shirt, black pants, red shirt underneath. Walking to the table, reaching into his pocket. Putting some keys on the table. Some other random stuff, rubbing his hands together, looking around. Now he sees this clown.
It's me, Rusty Kids, and I'm here. Mommy's come back.
Clem running away and literally jumping through the brick wall, leaving a cartoonish outline in the brick wall. I guess that part worked. Guess we'll see what he left us here on the table. This looks like some more keys. Let's grab those. Flem's keys. Just a regular set of keys. Okay. And then something else here. The bracelet. Let's see where we might be able to use those keys. Okay, there's a strong box to the far side, so let's open that.
Locked.
Right, I forgot. I have to use the keys. There we go, now we got it open. Combine key from alley with strongbox. Unlock strongbox. Okay, examine.
What do we have here? Unless I miss my guess, this is jade. It's good quality, too.
I think we've got everything here, so let's head out through the exit that Rusty came in.
I'm telling you, it's impossible. It can't be done.
So now we see a whole new scene that's cut away. It looks almost like the interior of a stone castle. Some pillars off to the right, a very prominent fireplace off to the left, a chair and a very prominent high chair in the middle, with an older gentleman, long tassels of hair, almost looks Native American, with a bright yellow shirt, white pants, and another gentleman, appears to be in kind of a red robe, seated in front of him, but we can't see the gentleman who's seated's face. Let's see what they have to say.
I've tried everything.
The prophecy is very clear. We can't go on until this step is completed. Surely your unique skills give you opportunity?
My ability has gotten us nowhere. Capricorn got there before me. They're always one step ahead of me. It's like they can read my mind.
We can't let them stop us. Maybe we can use your skills on someone else. I've made inquiries, and if he hasn't gotten himself killed, maybe he's just what we need. Murphy. Tex Murphy.
That concludes day 1 of Tex Murphy Under a Killing Moon. Apologies for so many added cuts and fades in my edits. Some of my recordings got corrupted and I didn't have time to restart. If you're enjoying these playthroughs, then please consider rating the show on your choice of podcast market or like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also comment directly on the site at letsplaybyplay.org. Thanks for listening, and until next time, game onward.